Hello viewers, I am Kausalya. Today we are going to discuss problems on star delta transformation. And here the problem is, in the circuit shown below, find the equivalent resistance of the circuit, the total current, the current in the resistor between points B and C. And here the applied voltage is 200 volt. Right. Here the given circuit diagram. Okay, this is the given circuit diagram and the supply voltage is 200 volt. So what are all the things we are asked to find? The first one is equivalent resistance, that is total resistance of the circuit. So here in this case, our first step is we are going to convert this delta to star here. That is our basic step. Once that is done, then it is easy to find the total resistance. Once the total resistance is found, then it is easy to calculate the total current because we know the value of voltage, right? So first step is converting this delta to star here. So what is the formula? What is the procedure to convert this delta to star? So as we all know, you see, if we need the value here, for example, okay, this is how this delta to star transformation will be, right? So if you need the value of this resistance, that is RA, because A is here, right? RA, then 30 into 60 divided by 30 plus 90 plus 60, right? If you need RB, 30 into 90 divided by 30 plus 90 plus 60. Similarly, if you need RC, 60 into 90 divided by 30 plus 90 plus 60, right? So by using this formula, you just calculate the values of all the three resistors RA, RB and RC, right? So finally we are ending up with the diagram like this, right? Now how to calculate the total resistance? So as we all know, from the diagram you see these two resistors are in series, and again these two resistors are in series. How to combine the resistors in series? Just you have to add. That is 75 plus 15 forms one resistor, and this 30 plus 15 forms another resistor, right? So here you see I had calculated the values, right? So 15 plus 75 gives 90 and 13 plus 15 gives 45. So in case if you redraw this diagram, you see here you will be having the values like this. Right, here this 10 ohm, it remains as such, and here comes this 90 ohm and here comes this 45 ohm, and this is your terminal A and this is your terminal B, right? Now again when you look at this diagram, you see this 90 ohm and 45 ohm are in parallel. So how to find the total resistance? R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2 here. So that gives an answer of 30 ohms, right? So when you simplify this, in the place of these two resistors, here how it will be? You see here we will be having our 10 ohm and here we will be having our 30 ohm, right? So this 10 ohms and 30 ohms are again in series here. So how to combine the elements in series? Just you have to add 10 plus 30. So that gives the total value as 40 ohms. Right. Therefore, the total resistance of the given circuit is 40 ohms. The first part of the problem is over. The second question is total current. So how to calculate the total current? That is given by Ohm's law. V is equal to I into R. Right. So I is given by V by R. The value of V is directly given in the problem. It is 200, and the value of the resistance R, it is given as, we had calculated as 40 ohms. So 200 by 40, that gives an answer of 5 ohms. Right. Then the next part is, we need to calculate the current in the resistor between points B and C. That is, we need to calculate the current flowing through this 90 ohm resistor. Right. So to calculate the current flowing through the 90 ohm resistor, that is between points B and C, we need to calculate the current that flows through this 90 ohms as well as this 45 ohms, right? You see, this 90 ohm is totally different from the thing that is asked in the question, right? The current flowing through that 90 ohm resistor is different, and here this 90 ohm, how we got this 90 ohm? By combining this 15 ohm and 75 ohm, right? So be clear with that. So here in this case, you see here the total current is 5 amps, right? We had calculated. So how to calculate the current flowing through this 90 ohm resistor? By using the current division formula. What is the current division formula? The current division formula is total current. What is the total current? That is 5 into opposite resistance. That is resistance opposite to this 90 ohm is 45 ohm, right? Divided by the total resistance. Here you have to sum this 90 and 45. That's it, you see. Here the total current is 5 multiplied by opposite resistance is 45 divided by the total resistance. Right, that gives the answer of 5 by 3 amps. And the next thing is we are going to calculate the current that flows through this 45 ohm resistor. Right. So again here the total current is 5 amps into opposite resistance is the resistance opposite to this 45 ohm is 90. So 5 into 90 divided by 90 plus 45, right? So that gives an answer of 10 by 3 amps, right? So once the value of current is calculated, we can easily calculate the voltage, right? Now we are calculating the voltage across this NB and voltage across this NC, right? So the current flowing through this 15 ohm is, you see, this we had calculated the current flowing through the 90 ohm resistance, right? That 90 ohm resistance is nothing but it is the combination of this 15 and 75. Since the resistors are in series, the current flowing through these resistance will be the same. That is, current flowing through this 90 ohm resistor is 5 by 3 amps, right? Just now we had calculated. So this 5 by 3 amps flows through this 15 ohms as well as through this 75 ohms, right? That's why the current flowing through this 90 ohm is 5 by 3 amps, right? So here we need to calculate the voltage. So how to calculate the voltage? Voltage across this part is nothing but I into R. We know what is the value of I. You know what is the value of R. So just multiply, right? And again similarly voltage across NC is, here the current flowing through this resistor is calculated as 10 by 3 amps. Right, so 10 by 3 into 30 gives the value of voltage. Right, this is what we had done here. Right, voltage across NB and voltage across NC. So voltage between B and C is nothing but we need to subtract. So when you subtract 100 minus 25, so that gives the answer of 75 volt here. Right, so what is the 75 volt? So that 75 volt is nothing but the voltage across this BC, right? Because we had calculated, you see, we have calculated NB and NC, and when you subtract, that gives the answer of 75 volt here. So this 75 volt is nothing but this is the voltage across this 90 ohm resistor, right? We know the value of voltage, we know the value of resistance, so we can easily calculate the current. So here the current is calculated by V by R. V is nothing but 75 volt and R is 90. So that gives the answer of 5 by 6 amps. Right. So here comes the end of our fourth problem. So now we start with problem number 5. Right. So here in the Wheatstone bridge circuit shown below, find equivalent resistance between P and Q, the total current and current through 18 ohm resistor. So this problem is quite similar to the previously solved problem. Here the main difference is, here we are having an additional resistance of 2 ohms, right? That is the key difference. The rest of the thing holds the same. So again now we are going to convert this delta to star. So as usual the same thing. So how to calculate the value of RA? Here just you have to multiply 12 into 6 divided by 12 plus 18 plus 6, right? RA. And similarly for RB and for RC. How to calculate RB? 12 into 18 divided by 12 plus 18 plus 6. For RC, 18 into 6 divided by 12 plus 18 plus 6, right? So when you use these formulas, you can easily find out the value of RA, RB and RC. Right, so we have replaced this delta, right, this delta by star here, and these two resistor and this resistor will remain the same, right? Yes, that's it. Now again you see these two resistors are in series. So 6 plus 6 gives 12 and 21 plus 3 gives 24, and this resistance and this resistance remains the same, right? Again, these two are in series. Even you can combine 2 plus 2 and write it as 4. Right. Now we are going to calculate the total resistance. So how to calculate the total resistance? So how to find the total resistance? 2 plus 2, right? And this is a parallel combination, and again when you reduce this equivalent resistance comes in series with this resistance, right? So here the total resistance is 2 plus 2 plus 12 into 24 divided by 12 plus 24. So that gives the value of 12 ohms here. Right. Now the next step is we are going to calculate the current. So current is given by V by R. V is given as 240, R is 12. So the total current is 20 amps here. Right. Now the next thing is we need to calculate the current that flows through this 18 ohm resistor, right? Again for that we are calculating, you see, for that purpose you have to consider this part. You have to calculate NB, you have to calculate NC, and when you subtract NB minus NC, that gives the answer of voltage across this BC. Again between BC we are having a resistance of 18 ohms, right? So again by voltage division rule, we are going to calculate the current that flows through I12 as well as through this I24. So how to calculate I12? Total current into opposite resistance. So 20 into 24 divided by 12 plus 24, right? And again current flowing through this 24 ohm resistance is given by total current is 20. The resistance opposite to this 24 is 12, right? So therefore, how to write? 20 into 12 divided by 12 plus 24. So that gives the value of current that flows through this 24 ohm resistance, right? So accordingly here we are getting the values as 13.33 and here 6.66 amps, right? So the next thing is now voltage across NB and NC. So for voltage across NB is, you see, the current flowing through this NB is 13.33 amps and this NC is 6.66. Now we can easily calculate the voltage across NB and NC. So 13.33 into 6 and here 6.66 into 3, right? So here voltage between B and C is given as 80 minus 20, that is 60 volt here. So this 60 volt is the voltage that is impressed across this 18 ohm resistor. So therefore I is given by V by R. V is nothing but 60 volt divided by R is 18 ohm, right? So here the current flowing through this 18 ohm resistor is 60 divided by 18. So that gives the answer of 3.66 amps, right? Here comes the end of this problem. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. Thank you.